Holy Paladins wield the power of light in the form of the Silver Hand, a hammer that has seen countless battles and felled many foes. In the hands of this holy crusader, allies are reinvigorated even in the most desperate fight. As one of the Titanic Watchers, Keeper TUURE bore this weapon in countless battles against the Titan's enemies. When one of his fellow keepers, Loken, fell to corruption, TUURE and his allies stole the discs of Norgannon to investigate the extent of Loken's betrayal. Discovering the theft, Loken sent horrific monsters after TUURE's group, but TUURE sacrificed his life to fight the creatures while his comrades escaped with the discs. His hammer was lost with him somewhere beneath the land now named in his honor, Tirisfal. Protection. Paladins wield the shield TRUTHGUARD to stop what would seem unstoppable. Its history is written in the tiny imperfections on its surface. In times of great darkness, this barrier stands between all that is good from all that is evil. The Titanic Watchers TUURE and Architas created the shield when their comrade, Loken, fell to corruption. They gave TRUTHGUARD to a Vrykul champion who used it to expose Loken's treachery. When TUURE and his allies later stole the discs of Norgannon and fled, the champion stayed behind and held off many of Loken's servants. A desperate Loken sent horrific monsters after TUURE, who fell in combat. In time the Vrykul champion migrated to Stormheim in the Broken Isles, where the shield was eventually entombed in the Path of Kings. The name ASHBRINGER has long struck terror into the hearts of those who have faced its power. Its re-emergence into the hands of the Retribution Paladin is no mistake, a ready ally to mete out justice on those who must be judged. King Magni Bronzebeard forged the ASHBRINGER from a piece of crystal purified by wielders of the Holy Light. This gave the sword strange light-bearing powers. It was named for its ability to slaughter undead, leaving nothing but ash in its wake. ASHBRINGER passed through several hands, serving both light and shadow, before it came to the legendary Paladin Tirion Fordring, who used it to shatter the Lich King's runeblade, Frostmower, on the top of Icecrown Citadel. Tirion has carried ASHBRINGER with him ever since. Disciplined priests stand between the light and shadow, wielding both, they straddle the precipice between. For them, this balance must be carefully cultivated so that they might wield and control the power of the Staff Light's wrath in battle. Obsessed with cleansing undead from the world of Azeroth, the fanatical Scarlet Crusade tried to create a second ASHBRINGER in the form of a staff. However, a dreadlord who had infiltrated the Order intervened, interrupting their efforts and triggering a violent magical explosion. The damaged staff's power proved nearly uncontrollable. After several wielders tried and failed to use the staff safely, the elite magi of the Kirin Tor hid it away lest it unleash further deadly calamities. Holy priests embody the power of the divine and thus wield a true weapon of the light, TUURE, beacon of the NAARU. A weapon of this pedigree can be put to task to either heal allies or smite those who would stand against them. As beings of holy light, the benevolent NAARU rescued the Draenei from their homeworld after most of its people were transformed into demonic recruits for the Burning Legion. Demons nearly overwhelmed the fleeing Draenei, but the NAARU protected the refugees with this beacon crystal. TUURE channels the light's essence into healing radiance, regenerating horrific wounds and bringing people back from the brink of death. Ultimately the crystal was lost to Legion forces on an invaded world. It hasn't been seen since. Practitioners in the ways of shadow will truly covet XAL'ATATH, Blade of the Black Empire, as a part of their arsenal. The shadow priests who wield this Voidhorn blade will truly terrify their enemies and bend minds to their will. This terrifying dagger was made from the claw of an old god eons ago, and dark priests used it for ritual sacrifices during the height of the Black Empire. After the fall of the old gods, XAL'ATATH was hidden away by cults. It has surfaced from time to time over the course of history, inevitably associated with some horrific ritual or disaster. The blade has a will of its own, it uses powerful void energies and mind magics to warp everything around it for some nefarious purpose. Assassination rogues will be able to spend quality time getting to know anguish and sorrow, twin blades made for ruthlessly dispatching those caught in their wielder's sights. These are precision tools, perfect for finding their mark and eliminating them. The orc warlock Paladin had these daggers made for his personal assassin, Darona. The blades are said to drink blood and inflict traceless poison, leaving little sign of their grim work, the perfect tools for an assassin. She used them to carry out countless atrocities while under Paladin's control, including the murder of Stormwind's King Lane, whom she had befriended. Afterwards, in anguish, she asked a trusted ally, Meryl Winterstorm, to help her hide the blades away in the hope that they'd never have to be used again. Outlaw rogues are the unscrupulous combatants of Azeroth. They bend the rules, change them, and put those who would stand against their choices to task with the dread blade's fate and fortune. These blades are meant to cut deep in toe-to-toe combat. Shortly after the cataclysm, Admiral Eliza Goreblade discovered a pair of ornately crafted cutlasses inside a recently unearthed wreck not far from Booty Bay. Though the origins of the blades are unclear, their power was not, as Eliza quickly made her name known pillaging countless ships across the Great Sea, none able to best her in combat. Rumors spread among pirates and sailors about the dread blades, the most common ones all agreeing that they are cursed, and that if they should ever stop being fed new victims, they'll claim their owner instead. Subtlety rogues will enjoy the silent elegance of the fangs of the Devourer when they strike at the enemy from within the shadows. These daggers bite with all of the venom of a viper, quick, stealthy, and deadly. Gorma the Devourer, Sargera's personal hound, claimed countless lives before it was eventually ambushed and killed on another world long ago. Following the hound's death, Mephistroph had its fangs crafted into two powerful daggers that still carried with them some of the potent withering essence that made Gorma's bite so deadly. These daggers were passed to Akari, one of Sargera's most deadly assassins, who wields them to this day. The fury of storms runs through the veins of the elemental shaman, as it does through the fist of Ra-Den. Only a true master of the elements can wield its power. Amanithal the Highfather, leader of the Titan Pantheon, entrusted his greatest servant, Highkeeper Ra, with this artifact, which could channel the fury of the storms. Ra used it to bestow life on the Titan-forged Mugu race, and he wielded it in battle against the Black Empire for years beyond counting. Later lost to Ra, the weapon was ultimately recovered by the august Celestial Zune, who saw its immense and dangerous power, and chose to safeguard it until someone worthy could take up the weapon in a righteous cause once again. Enhancement Shaman meld the power of the elements with their prowess in combat. For them, no weapon will suffice but one of legend, DOOMHAMMER. In close combat, a master shaman can draw out its true power. Forged in elemental lava on the orc homeworld of Draenor, this massive hammer is connected deeply with the elements, and its true power is only awakened in the hands of those who can speak to the elements in kind. The DOOMHAMMER was long wielded by Orgrim Doomhammer, one of the greatest orc warriors of the Horde, and now rests with Thrall, one of the most powerful shaman Azeroth has ever known. Restoration Shaman wield the Scepter of AZSHARA, a weapon of great healing and restoration. Theirs is the way of harmony with nature and purification, but when conflict arises, this weapon will prove a powerful ally. A powerful scepter created by Queen AZSHARA long ago, before her transformation into a Naga. Taken up by surviving night elves who knew nothing of the power it truly held, it was buried with an unknown priestess in a family tomb in the Suna, waiting to be discovered by someone that could unlock its true potential. Affliction warlocks are the masters of shadow magic, indulging in fell energies that wither away their life force over time. Their weapon of choice is ULTHALESH, the Deadwind Harvester, a great scythe that harvests souls from its victims, taking their power for its own. The first necrolite to walk the world of Azeroth, Saadiel, was given this scythe by the Titan Sargeras himself. It grows in power as it draws souls from its victims. The Harvester earned its name as Saadiel methodically drained all life from the hapless inhabitants of Deadwind Pass, creating a potent magical nexus there in the process. Hunting down Sadiel, the guardian of Tirisfal turned the scythe on her, sending her soul to join those of her victims. Eventually the Dark Riders recovered the weapon and secreted it beneath the Tower of Karatsan. Demonology. Warlocks are the masters of demons, summoning them forth to do their bidding. With the skull of the NAARU in hand, they are able to command and empower the greatest of these malefic beings. Before the Irdar served the Titan SARGERAS, one of their greatest leaders, Thalakiel, had unprecedented skill with summoning and binding magics. Driven by ambition, he reached into the void and was answered with knowledge of dark creatures unlike any the Irdar had seen before. His audacious power grab infuriated the demon lord Archiman, who struck him down, then had his skull gilded and placed on display as a warning. Today the dreadlord Mephistrot uses it to enhance his ability to summon and command demon armies for the Legion. Sargera's name is synonymous with destruction, so what more fitting weapon for a destruction warlock than the Scepter of Sargeras? This weapon is sure to set a warlock's fel-fueled heart ablaze with the chaotic destruction it can cause. Created through incredible effort by hundreds of Sargera's servants, this scepter can rip open dimensional gateways between worlds. It was entombed beneath the sea for centuries, then used by the orc shaman Ner'zhul to open the portals that tore the world of Draenor apart, leaving behind the shattered realm of Outland. The scepter was finally secured by the elite magi of the Kirin Tower. Unable to destroy it, they hid it away in a magically protected chamber and put it under eternal watch to prevent it from ever being used again. Arms warriors are patient fighters, readily able to use heavy two-handed weapons to their advantage at key moments in a fight. It's no wonder they gravitate to weapons like STROMKAR, the Warbreaker, one of the mightiest greatswords in the world. This greatsword was born into combat by the barbarian warlord who first united humanity under a single banner, founding the nation of Arathor. A master tactician and strategist, King Thoradin went on to play a critical role in ending the Troll Wars. Later the sword was lost while it was being used to subdue a Catharxy monstrosity in a forgotten tomb beneath Tirisfal. Abandoned and all but forgotten, STROMKAR has been slowly drinking from the shadowy power there over thousands of years. Fury warriors are tenacious foes who revel in maximum carnage. With the war swords of Valador in their arsenal, they are sure to slake their bloodthirst on the battlefield. In ages past, the Titanic Watcher-Keeper Odin betrayed the sorceress Helya, killing her and twisted her spirit into a spectral Volker. He forged this pair of swords for the mightiest of his storm-forged Valarger, but Helya stole the swords and infused them with a portion of her rage. She then gave them to her own champion, who used them to hunt the greatest of heroes and drag their souls away to serve in Helheim. These swords stirred their owner into unrelenting and punishing attacks that overcome a target's defenses and leave no opening for counterattacks. Scale of the Earth Warder is the most fitting armament for the protection warrior. These fighters are a wall of opposition against any who would stand against them, and with this shield at their command, they are truly unstoppable. An impenetrable shield crafted from a scale of the Black Dragon aspect, Neltharion the Earth Warder, before the old god's corruption overcame him. The formidable Virkul King Magnar Icebreaker carried the shield into combat and won victory after victory in the face of grim odds. When he finally fell in battle, it was due to treachery by servants of the Volker Helya. The shield is now entombed with King Magnar's body in the Path of Kings in Stormheim. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it and share it with others.